got that cord right in front of my face. Let me just move that out of the road. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up here in New South Wales, Australia. I'm going to try something very different for me today. I'm not generally one who goes outside the square, and I'm going to try to do something a little bit out of my norm. Now, let me just flip my camera around so you can actually see what I've got on my desk. So it won't be 1 second. Let me just bring this up. Okay, so last week you saw me make this card using the dies from the Elegant Borders dies. Now, this is a product you won't find in the catalogue, and you'll only find it on the online store. So go and check it out. About 3 or 4 times a year, Stamping Up will be adding some exclusive online products, and this is one of them for this quarter. So I cut out last week all of these, and we made one. So now I'm going to do another card base with another one of these. And the one I've chosen we're going to play with today is this one here. So let me just move these out of the road. Now, as I said before, I am going to be pushing myself a little bit out of my normal, what I do. I usually like to plan things and plan things quite well. And I'm also somebody who likes to work within a structure. So whether it be I stamp a design and then add elements on top of that, but there's usually some sort of structure. I'm not usually one that goes too much freehand, but when I do really enjoy it. So I thought today what I'm going to do is just play and see what we come up with. Now, this is either going to work or it's going to be a great fail. And by the way, please jump on and say hello and let me know that you're watching. Let me know who you are and where you're from if you've never been on here before. Now, one of the things I did notice the other day after I cut these out is I made my cards slightly narrower than what I usually do, and so I got this edge on here. Let me just grab a piece of cardstock so you can see. So my edge here hasn't joined up. So what I've done on the other side, I've just trimmed my edge away just to follow the line there. And I'm going to do that on this one as well. Just ignore my phone there going off in the background. I will get back to that later. So all I'm going to do is just trim this and just follow those curves and just try to make that look like it should be there. Hi, Linny, how are you? So I'm just going to nip that off there as well. So when I pop that under, it all looks like it's would have normally have been that way. Just let me curve that a little bit more. Just want that to look like it should be like that rather than that I've mangled it. There we go. So I've just given that a really nice edge, I hope. As I said, this is just a let's play, see what I come up with. So I've already scored this, already die cut it, of course. So I want to stamp directly onto my cardstock rather than adding elements on top of it like what I did last week with this one here, where I've got a piece of designer series paper and coloured it and added on top. This time what I'd like to do is stamp directly onto here, but I don't necessarily want to stamp directly onto the back there. Now, somewhere here on my messy desk, I have got some large post-it notes, and I have put them somewhere safe. There they are, tucked away up there. So I'm just going to grab couple of these and I'm going to block out the back of my card. Here's another one, and I'm just going to block that one out. And that just means that if I'm going to stamp past that edge, I'm not going to get it onto this side of my cardstock. Now, the stamp set I've decided to use today is the two-tone Flora, because at the moment, I must admit, it is one of my favorites. I love it. Now, I do need a scrap of paper here, and I'm just going to use one of these. And we need to use a foam mat because this is a photopolymer stamp. So I've got my foam mat. I'm going to pop that onto there when I'm stamping. So the foam gives you that extra padding, because with the photopolymer stamp, even it's clear, but you don't have that layer of foam that we have with our red rubber stamp like I've got here, which gives us a little bit of cushioning when we stamp. So to make sure that we get a really good coverage in ink, having your foam mat underneath allows that to happen. So this is our card base. Now, I'm going to start with stamping the larger flower, and I'll just show you the colours I've decided to go with. I've got here Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight, Soft Succulent, and Fresh Freesia. So we're going to have a little bit of a play and see how we go. I was sort of hoping to stretch myself further by adding more stamp sets, but I've decided I'm not that game. I'm a bit chicken. Hi, Julianne. How are you? So we're going to start with that. We're going to start with our two-tone Flora stamp set and see where this takes us. Now, I do sort of want to stamp maybe over the edge of this. I'm not planning to keep that white. Normally what I would recommend that you do is get your cardstock and stamp it first and then run it through the die cutting machine to give you that edge. But I'm doing this a little bit back to front. So this is a little bit of trial and error. So I'm going to start with my Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to start with one of my larger flower stamps, and I'm going to start with the intricate detail. I found this is a lot easier to use to do that. And I also need to have my paper under here, or another piece of scrap paper, which I'm going to use just to stamp off, because I do like to use the same color but use a lighter color to fill in. So let me just have a look. See, there's my larger one in that, and that's not the corresponding stamp. So I've got that one, and I've got that one, and that corresponds with that one. What I have done on my stamp set is actually I've numbered them all. I don't know whether you can actually see that, but I've actually gone through and gone 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and all the way through. So when I look at this, I can actually see which one very quickly goes with which one. So I'm hoping I've got them all correct here. Whoops, I don't need that little bit in there. So that one there goes with that one. Okay. So I wanted this one here. Let's ink this up. So I'm going to start by stamping 3 of these. Pop one there. As I said, I'm going to stamp over this edge here because I do want this to spill out onto this. And then I'm going to pop the 3rd one in there. Okay. So let's grab the one that fills that, which is this one here. I think my ink pad might need to be re-inked, I would suggest to everybody to go through your ink pads and your ink refills, because very soon we're going to have a refresh on a lot of our colours. And if you're missing any of those ink pads, you might want to, or ink refills, you might want to look at purchasing your re-inkers sooner rather than later, because once they decide or tell us which colour's going, they will go very, very quickly. So there's that one. Just turn this around. Remember to stamp off. Line that one up and stamp. Line this one up as best as I can and stamp. Okay, so there's our first 3, and now I want to bring in another colour, and I'm going to bring in my fresh freesia. So this one here, I want to go to a smaller stamp, so I might actually miss that one and go this one here. Let's have a look. And I'm just going to start just popping some of these into these areas here around. I'm basically working in 3s at the moment. That's that one. Now I'm lining up, I don't know whether you can see it, but I find it a lot easier when I line these stamps up to line them up with this center where your stamens would be. So I'm sort of lining that part up and then just adjusting my stamp slightly until I'm happy with the position that it's in. I think all my stamp pads might need to be re-inked. So let's turn this one around. Now this one here I can't see, well, I can just see the where the stamens would be. So I'm going to line that up just there. So I hope you've all had a really good week. And that you've had pleasant weather. We've had a lot of rain and a lot of storms here. But today, even though it started off wet this morning, doesn't look too bad. I did go out for a little while and had a lovely cup of coffee at my favourite coffee shop. Okay, now, so I've got that, and I'd like to maybe pop in a few of these little flowers here, and I want to pop these in the Daffodil Delight. Again, I'm just going to ink this up at full strength. Could add a few more of these, because again, we're getting to the point now where as we go out, you're going to be working on more than just in 3s. So I'm sort of starring it out, I think, is best way I can describe it. Again, just stamping off. I think this is becoming very quickly one of my favourite stamp sets. Oops, forgot to stamp that one off. Oh dear. Let's stamp this one off. I remembered that just as I pushed down. You reckon it's looking good, Linny? Oh, I hope so. Because I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've got that coming out to there, but I just feel like we need to fill this in. Maybe bring in the I'm going to put a few leaves in that coming out, but I just feel like I've got too much of a blank area here. Okay, what colour should we because we've got those two colours and then the Daffodil Delight. If we're going to do another flower, don't want anything brighter because the Flirty Flamingo is quite bright. Any suggestions for colour? Whether we go into Blushing Bride or the Petal Pink. Blushing Bride might be too close. Okay, which one? Soft sea foam for the leaves. Yeah, I sort of was working with soft sea foam before. And I was also thinking of soft succulent. Yeah, there's going to be a leaf. I'm going to put a leaf in there, but I just want to fill up. There's a big area here and a big-ish sort of area there. I just want to make it a little bit fuller rather than just going. Well, let me just grab my soft sea foam. I've got soft sea foam here. Let's just put a few leaves in and see how it looks. And I'm just doing these at full strength. Just looks a little bit empty in there, and considering that's the top, I'm sort of like, I probably should have done this a little bit more that way. Just feel like it needs something to bring it back up. What have I got here? Because I want my sentiment probably, if I stamp my sentiment, it's going to go probably around about either the top third, because I like to divide my cards into thirds. So we either go the top third or the bottom third. Yeah, around about here, Lenny, I'm sort of thinking. I mean, it's going to have some little bit of fillers in here. I was sort of thinking, okay, let's have a look. We've got this little stamp that comes in that particular set, and I've got my soft succulent, which is that little one. Dot some of these around. Still needs something there, but can't be too. Okay, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go back to my Flirty Flamingo. As I said, this is just a trial and error today. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. And I'm going to pop another one, going slightly at a different angle there, just to fill in that hole. And we can pop another one up in there. So, look, there's never any right or wrong with doing something like this. It's a matter of just playing and filling in until you get the effect that you want. So let's just add how's that looking? So we need to grab our little leaf here. Add another one there. You know what, we could add another, if we brought in, I mean, I know it's bringing in a fourth one, and I do like to work with odd numbers, but only just going to be a tad little bit there. And our matching one for that one. I've got stamps everywhere in front of me, but not the one I want to see. Okay, have a girl look, Michelle, not a boy look. Didn't think that was the right one. It's not the right one. That's the one I've just used. There it is. I've popped it way over there out of the road. Couldn't see it for the life of me. Okay. Still needs something in here. And that little one. Few of these just up in here, and then it looks like it's all meant to be. How are we looking? I think that's looking actually pretty good without overcrowding it. I think if we add too much more in there, it's going to get a little bit lost. So let me just, do we need to add speckles? Because that's the reason why I've got this one out. This is the one, it's from the Forever Fern, and it's just got like little spots, and I'm just sort of wondering, do we need to add some little spots? Because we do have a few little blank areas in there, but if we did a few little spots, it had to be something quite light and not too bright. So I could go maybe into soft sea foam. I think Pear Pizzazz could be a little bit too bright. Should be a different color. Okay, come on. I need an ideas, guys. Do we add speckles? Yes or no? And if we do, what color? The other colour we could do speckles in is in pale papaya, because again it's only a soft colour, and it's in those really soft tones. Let's give that a go. Even just add it a little bit, stamp it off, so it's just a not overly bright, but just adding a little bit of a filler. Can get quite carried away with adding speckles, but I think just keeping them light and keeping them in a, just filling up a few of those little holes. So we want this to look like a little bit like it's a designer series paper, but we've created our own, and I think that's enough. Okay, so they're the colours we've ended up using. Let's peel this off. Oh, I managed to get a bit of ink on the back. Don't know how I managed to do that. So let's get rid of all of that. Let's get rid of that. And there's our card. So what do you think of that? Now, the next thing we need to know, now I've cut up a few pieces of paper here. Do we add a little bit of designer series paper in there, or is it going to take away from it? So I've sort of cut a few. This is one from one of the celebration papers we had recently, and I like it because it's soft. That might be, I don't know, do we like that or don't we like it? It sort of lets this shine through. I sort of think the white sort of blends in a bit, but then if you have it white, then you've got somewhere to write. If I did that one, then I'd have to put a panel in there, and we've already got thick whisper white here. Hi Linda, how are you? Then we've got that one. No pattern DSP. Put the solid. So you like this one here, Lenny? Glue it to the top, not the bottom. Oh, you reckon glue it that way? That's a good idea. Oh, Julianne. Very good idea. Okay, then this is the soft succulent. Okay, so no DSP. So you've got the soft succulent. We've got the fresh freezer. And then we've got the Calypso Coral. So which one? Julianne, you like the green? Pink cardstock looks nice too. So you like that one, Linny, or this one? S Calypso Coral, soft succulent, or the Calypso Coral. So we've got 2 for Calypso Coral, 1 for soft succulent. No, 2 for soft succulent. No one's wanting this one so far, so I'll take that one out. So we're down to one of these 2. Calypso Coral, Calypso Coral. Looks like Calypso Coral is the winner. Okay. So I like that idea of just attaching this to there, but I think I will go right across. And it's going to have just making sure that just have to trim just a tip, just a very, very thin. I only had to have a hair off that. Okay, so let's have a look how we're going to go. That's good that way, but we need to take off that much. So let's see how we go. Okay. I like that idea. We're going to glue this. Now, let's find my glue. Here we go. Turn it around this way. And just put a few little dots. Don't need much. Just want a couple little dots of glue. Put that in there. How does that look? Okay. So that's a great idea, Julianne. And now we've also got somewhere to write inside. A little bit of glue oozing out. So now we need to have a sentiment. So let me just grab the sentiments that go with this, and let's see if there's anything suitable in here. Now we could either, I have got a whole stack of, I was thinking of stamping directly onto here in Memento, but we could also use a tag, and I did pre-die cut a lot of these last week when I was playing. No, but that's too big. Sometimes I don't like them when they're too big, because you've just gone and done all that stamping. You don't want to lose it. But there's no reason why we can't. I don't know whether I've got, these are just things that I've cut and stamped in the past, and I've just got them all thrown here in the corner of my table. But we could always cut to get the right color, so we can stamp and cut. I think because what we could always do is add something there. Now I'm just sort of having a look. Right. A lot of these sentiments on this will depend which die shape we use. May the good you do come back to you. Nothing fancy, just love. I didn't forget your birthday. Okay. It's either happy birthday, which is a small one, or I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching it out. Let's have a look at that one. Always need a few belated cards. I'm not good on remembering to send out cards, so it's probably a good one for me to have on hand. Now the trick is whether I'm going to get this nice and straight. Is that going to fit on there nicely? Yes, it will. Getting it in there straight nicely is another thing. Do we do it in Flirty Flamingo? Do we do it in... Because if we did it in Flirty Flamingo, that would go across on there. But if we're going to add some more flowers, we may not yet. It might be just a piece of ribbon. I might have to jump up and grab some ribbon. Let's have a go at Flirty Flamingo. Because 9 times out of 10, I will go to a black sentiment, but it's always good to step out of your comfort zone, which is what I'm trying to do today. See if we can stamp this straight. How about something thin across? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, Marianne. That's why I'm sort of also thinking about just using happy birthday, but I want to see this, what it looks like, and I may just go straight back to the happy birthday. Yep. So let me grab just a piece of, because there is one die in this set that I really do love, and it's because it is a long, thin one. And if we went just the happy birthday, and let's have a look, see what it comes up like. Would help if I put this nice and straight on my block. That's the happy birthday in black. Let's die cut that one. Because I do love that little die there. And we'll have a look at these two and see what we think. Oh, my next door neighbour is whippersnippering again. I'll keep going, so hopefully he won't make it up to this piece of grass outside my window until we're almost finished. So got that one. We've got that on there. And I really think that's just getting too lost and we're going to lose too many. It's the only thing I've got with these dies are they are so big. That one there would go across there nicely. I'm just trying to think what does need something underneath it though, because I think if we did that one, we'd have to pop it up on a couple of dimensionals. Oh, he must have heard me. He's gone out the front. Okay. So that's going to go up there. Go across there somewhere. I always tend to go for the white bakers. I think I've got two favourite trims, and it's either baker's twine or the crinkle seam binding is the two trims that I use more than anything else. I sort of look at everything else and go, do I need it? Don't I need it? I think black that's what I've got. That's no good. What else have I got here on my table? I think I might just go for the baker's twine because I've got it here, but I'm going to cut it. I'll do what I've been doing a lot of lately, and it is actually separating my baker's twine. You can tell that I'm an embroiderer because embroiderers will separate their embroidery threads and put them back together. And lately I have been doing exactly the same thing with my baker's twine. I just love the softness that it can give rather than a big heavy. And I think because these are we've used soft colours, they are a soft flower, and even the decorative edging is fairly soft. And I've just put 3 strands back, and I might actually separate the last 2. If I can. So I've just separated all 3 and then putting them all back together again. But it just gives you a nice wispy. I'll probably cut a lot more than what I need. It's okay. And you could play with that a lot by pulling it apart. Okay, so let's pop a glue dot on the back of that. And I'll trim those tails off in a minute. Let's grab my tweezers here. We can work out where we want that to go. I think that's going to go just about there. I want that knot to be in between these dimensionals. And I must admit, even though I say I always do my sentiments in black, I do like it in a black because it does stand out. Actually, that could go just go across underneath. I just have that going just above that bow. Let me just straighten that up. Whoops. You could just make that very whispery. It's giving a very soft bow, and I think that looks a lot better than that. I think it just blends too much and it's too big. So we'll keep that for another time. Put that to one side. So there's, pop that down. Now we could put a little bit of bling on this, maybe. I'm not normally a blingy person, but let's just have a look, see what I've got. Even a couple of little butterflies on that would be very nice, actually. Just a little bit of gold. Because you sort of got a little bit of traditional with the die cut, but by using sort of, and the flowers are a little bit traditional, but butterfly, even though it's not really traditional, but it's not really modern, it's just something a little bit different as well. Where are the other? I've got to use up these ones. Just want to use a couple of the small little ones. Do I need more than that? I've got two there. I've got a little one there. It's sort of a triangle around my sentiment. I just don't know whether I need. Hi, Joan. How are you? Good to see you're able to jump on. No, I think I might just leave that. Sometimes less is more. Don't know whether that one is in the right spot though. Just need to bring him away from that. Maybe this one too. Don't want to rip that. I think maybe down there. That's better. There we go. happier now. Okay, so what did we use today? We've used pretty much just one stamp set. So we've used the two-tone flora. We've used the Something Fancy, which is the coordinating sentiment set that goes with that one. The colours we've used are Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya. We've used Soft Succulent. We've used this one here, which is Soft Sea Foam, and Daffodil Delight, and of course the dies are the Elegant Border dies. So that's the products we've used. Where's the card I made last week? So now we've got two beautiful cards done very differently using those Elegant Border dies. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. Thank you very much for helping me. Hi, Chris. How are you? Thank you for helping me today with getting this finished. I think in the end it's worked out a beautiful card, and really loved your idea, Marianne, of attaching that piece onto there rather than underneath. But I'm really happy with the way they turned out. So hope you can join me again next Friday, where we'll make another card. Maybe not using these dies. We might go and do something a little bit different, but it's been a lot of fun. So I'll catch up with you later. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.